Hey guys, happy Samhain, happy Halloween, happy Thursday. I'm coming at you today from my kitchen. One of my favorite Halloween decorations is right here behind me. It's this vintage pumpkin. I just love it. All right, it's Thursday, so let's dig in. Today I have a little cheat sheet because I'm going to try and stay on track, which is really hard for me. So, the first thing I want to share with you today is something I didn't know my phone could do until it asked me if I wanted it to do this thing, which is weird. Do your phones do that? Do you get little things where it's like, do you want me to set that 6:30 alarm for you? I'm like, yeah, phone, that would be lovely. Thank you. So it asked me if I wanted to limit my screen time. So I went in and I clicked through and I figured out if you go into your screen time settings, you can set a downtime. And that's what it was asking me. What's that little hair doing? It was asking me if I wanted to set some sort of limit, like a downtime for my phone use. I think it heard me talking about it. I'm just saying. Facebook, Instagram, Apple, all of you. I know you're listening. But I've been talking about wanting to limit my screen time, and it was weird my phone asked me that. So I am limiting my screen time through my phone, going into the screen time settings, into downtime from 8 p.m. to 7 a.m. I am allowing myself access to music, so my music app, Spotify app, texts, calls, but that's it. So no Instagram, no Facebook, no news, nothing from 8 p.m. to 7 a.m. because I don't want to be on my phone at night because that makes it so it's hard for me to get to sleep. And I wake up more throughout the night if I've been on my screen later. And the other thing is I want to not start my day by letting the outside world in. I want to kind of protect that time in the morning so that I can drink a cup of coffee and play with Ripley. We get the kids ready for school. We do a lot of stuff here in the house, and I don't want to already be consumed with what other people think I need to pay attention to. So to protect that morning time so I can start my morning the way I choose to, versus the way Instagram thinks I should because of a message coming in or an email or an article about Donald Trump. I don't want any of that coming in until I decide that it can come in. And I will tell you that I do not like it. I've only been doing this week. I don't like it. I still want to get on my phone first thing in the morning. I still want to check things at 8:30 at night. But it's working. So I don't like it, which means it's probably a habit that isn't healthy for me, that I'm not really wanting to, I want to get rid of it, but I don't. It's kind of like eating fast food. You know it's not good for you, but you really want those McDonald's French fries. You know what I mean? Does that make sense? So screen time in your phone, I'm sure, I have an iPhone 7, so this isn't anything new, but you do have a downtime setting. And I only have it on weekdays. I'm not so concerned about it on weekends right now, but maybe. So that's just a downtime setting in your screen time settings. Number 2 has nothing to do with productivity, has nothing to do with business or money. It was just something I liked. On Netflix, there's a documentary called Dancing with the Birds, and it's all about these birds of paradise, in the rainforest, and these unique qualities of these birds. And I'm a science nerd. I have loved animals and science since I was just a little girl. Still do. But I don't even think you have to be someone who really wants to geek out on science. This documentary is it's just beautiful, and it's interesting. So the one that I liked the best so far, and I still have about 20 minutes to go, and my daughter really liked this bird too. It was a bowerbird, and think of it kind of like the mockingbird of the rainforest. So it's really good at mimicry, and the sounds that this bird makes they're mind-boggling. They were really, really cool. And then one of the birds, its mating dance was to take one of its eyes and like dilate and like make its pupil big, small, big, like on just in one eye. I'm not really sure what the appeal was, but it was really fascinating to watch. So Dancing with the Birds on Netflix, just zone out to it. It's educational. My kids love it because the birds are doing funny little dances and they're all brightly colored and there's music and there's narration that's really, easy to follow for the kids. They really enjoy it. So just turn off whatever show you've been watching, turn off Instagram and put on Dancing with the Birds. I think it's better than Dancing with the Stars, but that's just me. Another thing on Netflix, when I was finding this documentary, I also found Moving Art. So if you're just going to be doing work around the house or for your business and you just want something playing in the background that's not going to distract you, Moving Art is it's not even a documentary series. It's just a series. There's no narration. It's just music and really pretty nature pictures. So they do one that's the ocean, the desert, flowers, underwater. I think there's 6 episodes, but it's just music and beautiful nature images. What better to have playing if you're trying to get into that creative flow? Like, that's a really great thing. I didn't know that was on Netflix, so sidetrack. Found that last night too. Last thing I want to talk about, I had a friend ask me whether she was asking about CDs versus savings, and her question really was, do I do any kind of banking at online-only banks? Have I ever gotten a CD at an online-only bank? But that got us kind of into a conversation about CDs versus savings. So I just wanted to touch on that because I imagine some of you might have that question. CDs, a certificate of deposit, are a place where you can park your cash. It's FDIC insured. They tend to pay a higher interest rate than your average savings account. But you put your money into a CD and it has to stay there for a certain period of time, and then you get the interest at the end. The rates are locked in. So I don't know if you noticed in the news that the Fed dropped the rate again. That I'm not even going to go off onto a tangent about that. That would be an entirely separate episode, an entirely different Instagram Live. So we won't talk about the Federal Reserve and interest rates, but they did lower the rate again. So rates for your savings accounts are generally tied in to that Fed rate. So when they lower rates, savings rates go down, so do mortgage rates. But if your money's in a CD, that rate isn't going to change during your term. So you're locked into your rate, which is great when rates are going down. One thing to consider with a CD is if you're going to need access to that money, you're going to pay a penalty if you have to withdraw any amount before your term is up. Most CDs, you can get some as low as 6 months. There may even be shorter. The shorter the term, the lower the rate. So the longer you're willing to keep your money at the bank, the more money they will pay you. So a lot of people do 1-year CDs, but if for any reason you need that cash for something and you withdraw it, there are penalties associated with that. So you're basically going to lose almost, if not all, of your interest. So never put money into a CD if you think you're going to need it for any reason. A CD is not a good place for an emergency fund, or it might be a good place that you want to park a little bit of money for next Christmas. But a CD is money that you're not going to touch for a while. You just want to park it somewhere so it can earn higher rates than the 0.01% that a lot of bank savings accounts are paying. Now, I've mentioned it before, banks like Ally, Capital One has high interest savings accounts. Barclays has a high interest savings account. You can go to somewhere like bankrate.com, type in high interest savings, and see who's offering the best interest for the lowest minimum. But I tend to like keeping most of my cash in an online savings account because they pay higher interest rates. So Ally was paying 1.9%. I'm sure it's going to drop down to 1.8, 1.7 with this new rate drop. The money is in cash. There's no minimum. There's no penalty for withdrawal. Keep in mind you can only do 6 transactions, 6 withdrawals a month from a savings account. A savings account is not a checking account. You can't just put money in and out every day. But our emergency fund is at Ally. I have the kids' larger savings accounts there, the money that they don't quite know about yet because they're still a little bit too young. But I don't lock money up in CDs because if there's an emergency, I need that money. And I don't like to keep large amounts of money at my local branch or at local banks because they just don't pay the same interest rate. So that's the difference between a savings account and a CD and just some of my thoughts around it. I'm not saying that my way of doing it is right. It's right for me. So if you have money that you're not going to need, a CD is going to pay a better rate. And it is FDIC insured. It's not tied to the stock market. It's guaranteed, or is at least as guaranteed as it can be. So those are my thoughts on CDs. And if you are going to have the cash savings account, which everyone should, I would look into an online-only bank. They have lower costs, which means that they pay higher interest rates. And again, it is FDIC insured. Always look to keep your cash in a place that is FDIC insured. Your mattress, not FDIC insured. I think those are my thoughts for today. I feel like I need to talk for another 10 minutes, so I'm not going to. Are you using the downtime feature on your phone? That was thing number 1. It's working for me. I don't like it because I'm kind of addicted to my phone. So it's good for me. It's good that I don't like it. It's working. Dancing with the Birds on Netflix, just for fun. Just tune in. It's a really, really fun documentary, and my kids love it, and I loved it, and it even had my husband laughing in the kitchen today. So, and last thing, considering CDs versus savings, what are you using the money for? Are you going to need to access it? Those are some of the thoughts around whether you want to do an online savings account or a CD. And bankrate.com is where I go just to compare rates very quickly. So that's what I have for you. I hope you guys have a wonderful Halloween, whether it's raining like it is here or snowing like it is where some of you are, or maybe you're out in California and you're like, we don't really have weather and it's beautiful. Whatever it is, I hope you have a safe and fantastic holiday. Thanks for watching. Thanks for tuning in, hanging out with me, and until next time. Bye, guys. Love you. Take care.